Looping through ls results in bash shell script. Does anyone have a template shell script for doing something with ls for a list of directory names and looping through each one and doing something? I'm planning to do ls1d/ to get the list of directory names.
Edited not to use ls where a glob would do, as at Sean J. Goff and others suggested. Just use a for .do.done loop. You can replace the with .text or any other glob that returns a list of files, directories, or anything for that matter, a command that generates a list, for example, $catFileList.txt, or actually replace it with a list. Within the do loop, you just refer to the loop variable with a $sign prefix, so $f in the above example. You can echo it or do anything else to it you want. For example, to rename all the .xml files in the current directory to .text. Or even better, if you are using bash, you can use bash parameter expansions rather than spawning a subshell.
Using the output of ls to get file names is a bad idea. It can lead to malfunctioning, and even dangerous scripts. This is because a file name can contain any character except, and the null character, and ls does not use either of those characters as delimiters, so if a file name has a space or a new line, you will get unexpected results. There are two very good ways of iterating over files. Here, I've used simply echo to demonstrate doing something with the file name. You can use anything, though. The first is to use the shell's native globbing features. The shell expands into separate arguments that the for loop reads, even if there is a space, new line, or any other strange character in the file name, for we'll see each complete name as an atomic unit. It's not parsing the list in any way. If you want to go recursively into subdirectories, then this won't do unless your shell has some extended globbing features, such as bash's globstar. If your shell doesn't have these features, or if you want to ensure that your script will work on a variety of systems, then the next option is to use find. Here, the find command will call echo and pass it an argument of the file name. It does this once for each file it finds. As with the previous example, there is no parsing of a list of file names. Instead, a file name is sent completely as an argument. The syntax of the exec argument looks a little funny. Find takes the first argument after exec and treats that as the program to run, and every subsequent argument it takes as an argument to pass to that program. There are two special arguments that exec needs to see. The first one is, this argument gets replaced with a file name that the previous parts of find generates. The second one is, which lets find know this is the end of the list of arguments to pass to the program. Find needs this because you can continue with more arguments that are intended for find and not intended for the execd program. The reason for the is that the shell also treats, specially, it represents the end of a command, so we need to escape it so that the shell gives it as an argument to find rather than consuming it for itself. Another way of getting the shell to not treat it specially is to put it in quotes. Semicolon works just as well as backslash for this purpose.
For files with spaces in, you will have to make sure to quote the variable like. Or, you can change the input field separator, ifs, environment variable. Finally, depending on what you're doing, you may not even need the ls.
If you have new parallel this URL installed, you can do this. To rename all text to XML. Watch the intro video for new parallel to learn more. This URL.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.